Hello. My name's Jess and I will be showing you today how to brick stitch this little fella here. I designed him back in January 2020. He's only little. I use him for either stitch markers or I've made earrings of him before. He's quite cute and small, so he's quite quick. The brick stitch isn't the quickest. Okay, so what you'll need today is a pair of scissors just to snip the thread, your colours. I actually have the colours on these ones for once. So they're the colours there. These are my Yuki Delicas size 11. I don't have the colour for this one, but it's just like a transparent light blue for the wings. This is just a clear bead which I will be putting here so I can then attach my loop. And these little ones here, which is what I use for the loop, which you'll see when I do it, these are Mayuka seed beads size 15, so they are smaller. Okay, you want thread. I like my Yuki beading thread. I also just like normal Nymo thread, and that can also look like that. Sometimes they're in little spools like that. Okay, you need a needle, size 10 or 12. I pre-threaded this because otherwise it would take me forever. I'm only using a ruler so you can see what line I'm on. So I'm going to start from the longest line and go up, and then I'm going to thread all the way back down and then go from here downwards to finish him. Okay, so let's crack on. Get some of my colours out. Pink for his little cheeks. Her little cheeks. Its little cheeks. Some wings. Obviously you can have attachments however you like. This is just how I like to do my little attachments. To make it into a clasp, I will show you at the end because I forgot to get it, but I would just put a jump ring through it and then something like this if I want to make it into a stitch marker, or a lobster clasp if I want to make it into a charm. Okay, so we're going to start with the longest bit here, and the first line I believe is called a ladder stitch. I only know the basics of brick stitch, so I know the ladder stitch increases, decreases, but that's pretty much it. But I can make this cutie with just those techniques, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so to start we're gonna put 2 wing colour, so in my case blue, onto the needle. Yep. And I'm gonna hold them and thread it down until I have about enough string to grasp with my hand there. Okay, and then we are going to go through the first bead but not the second bead, and what this will do is this will make this second bead sit next to this first bead, so we'll go through that one. Ta-da. If you can see that, so it's sitting quite nicely. Just because it's the first one, I go through it twice just to make it secure, and by going through it, what I mean is the ladder stitch is circle motions. So because it's coming out the top of this one, we're going to go in a circle. So you're going to go down this one, back up that one. Okay. So let me just do that. So down the second one, back up the first one, like so. You can see that. You can go down this one again and that be your starting position. However, I'm just gonna flip that and make that my starting position. Yep. Focus. Okay, so now we're just gonna continue the ladder stitch, which again is just circles. Okay, so we're gonna pick up the next colour here, which is black. Yep. And because it's a circle motion, because it's coming out of the top one, we're going to go in a circle motion. The thread technically goes around and we're going to go up. And as you will see, it sits next to that one like so. Okay, and just to finish it, again, because it's coming out of this one, we're just going to go down here to secure it. Okay, and we're going to do that all the way along. So the next colour is a black. Yep. And because it's coming down the bottom of this one here, we're going to go in a circle motion. So I'm just going to zoom in so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so it's coming out of this one. So we're going to go down into that one, thread that one through, and pull it, and then it sits next to it. It does get neater as you go, okay? And then to finish it, we're just going to go back up. Okay. So it looks a little bit untidy, but it will get neater. Okay, so let me put a little backing frame. Oh. There we go. Right, so we're just going to continue the ladder stitch.
Remember circle motions?
Right, so we've done 4 black and now we're going to do 2 blue. Oh, there you go. Zoom back out just a tad. Yep, and then to finish it off, it's another blue. Right, so that's your first row complete. Yep. So I'm going to go upwards and then I'm going to thread all the way back down. So this is our next line here. And as you can see, it's not an increase, it's a decrease. So if it was an increase, there'd be a colour here, but it's not, it's here. So this is a decrease. So how I do my decreases, and again, I don't know if it's accurate. Okay, we're going to pick up these 2 colours here. So we're going to pick up a blue and a pink. Focus. Yep. And we're going to start going under these little bridges here. And again, it will tighten up. So under that one. So if I move this, so hopefully it'll focus. Yep. I'm then going to go up a little pink one. back down the little blue one, and back up the pink one. And what this does is this will put it in place. Okay. So if we go back to the photo, yep, so we're going to do 3 yellows, 1 pink and 1 blue now. Okay. So we're going to pick up our 1 yellow. We're going to go under the little drawstring, like so. We're going to pull that, and then we're going to go back up the bead, and what that does is that secures it. Okay, so we're going to continue that along. And as you can see, the first line ladder stitch that we did is getting tidier. So we did our 3 yellows, we're going to do our pink. And we're going to do our blue in the last one here. Oh. Keep a hold of it, otherwise it goes flying out your hand. Okay, so that's your 2 lines done, and they keep getting neater and neater. Right. The second line, so the next line we're going to do is this line here. Again, this is a decrease because it's going in. So 1 yellow, a black, 2 yellows, a black, and a yellow. Okay, so when we start a row, we pick up the first 2 that we want. So I want a yellow and a black. Okay, and then we're going to go not in this one because it's decrease. We're going to go in this one. Okay. So we've gone up to secure that, and to make it neater we go again in a circle motion, we go down this one and then we'll go back up the black. I know other people start and finish their rows slightly different, so I suppose it's personal preference. Okay. 2 more yellows, so it's just picking up the colour you want and then going under that little bridge. Going back up the same bead to secure it. Then another black for his little eye. And yellow. So as you can see, I bead both ways, so I'll bead this way and I'll bead that way. A lot of people have a preference and they'll turn over their work to bead the same way. I like going back and forth. So the next line is this one here, so it's just all yellows. Again, it's another decrease. Pick up your 2 next colours. Not the first bridge, it'll be the second bridge. Back up the one closest to the bridge. Down in a circle motion. And then back up that one. And then yellows all across. So up to now, they've all been decreases. You can see little cuties forming. All right, so the next one is a black, yellows and a black, and because it goes out, this is actually going to be an increase. So we're going to pick up our next two colours as we normally would. Instead of going into this one, which we have been to decrease, we're going to go into the first one. And that's the only difference. Back up the first one, down in a circle motion, and back up. So in total it's 4 yellow beads. And then to finish off this row, it's a little black bead. You have no more bridges to go under, so we share this bridge here. Okay, so you just sort of go under the same, and then to secure it, you go back up as normal. And there you go. Now, depending how you do your attachment, you would just do 2 beads and then you can thread back under and back up until you're at the starting position. However, I want a little ring here, so I'm going to do 2 blacks, a plain see-through bead, my attachments, and then finish that off before I thread back down. So it's a decrease, so we're not going under the first one, we're going to go under the second one. So what I mean is, if you don't want a bead here, you can just thread down this one and keep threading down and up until you start here, and then you can put your other 2 black beads here. However, I'm just going to do a see-through bead, if I can pick it up, because I want my attachment on it. And then I can do the attachment, or you can do none of this and then do the attachment looped. In fact, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take this bead off. So I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to take this bead off now. And I'm going to go do the other 2 and then I'll do my loop long ways. So you can see me thread down. Just be careful when you're threading down, because if you force it you can actually snap the bead. The beads are glass. Do it one at a time, I find it's easy and you don't tend to snap them. So you could have threaded up to this bead, which I've done, or you could have gone and threaded up to this bead and done it that way, except for I'm going to put 2 on and do it that way. Because I put 2 beads on, skip one. Up and down, and up again to finish. As you can see, it all sits nicely. So you can add your see-through beads, or you can thread below and come back under that and do that. For this video, I'm just going to put on 4, 5, 6, 7. Just put on 7 little seed beads. I'm just going to thread down that one and see if I like the look of that. Yeah, so that's created a nice little ring now that I can put my jump rings on. So now I'm just going to thread all the way down the beads so I can start the rest of it, these little bottom. So I've done the top bit, and now we're just going to finish him off. Okay. So what we can do now is 1, 2, 3, these 4 here. So you're going to have to flip it upside down to work back and forth. So if it's easier, I can just flip that. Okay, so we're going to do, these are all decreases now. Okay, so we're going to do this, 2 blues, 3 yellows and 2 blues. So pick up your 2 blues, and because it's a decrease, we're not going to go in the first one, we're going to go in the second one. Tighten, 3 yellows, and 2 blues. I know this is coming out one of the beads, but I'll just thread that in later. So if I just hold that to the side. And the next row is 1 blue, 4 blacks, 1 blue. Just pick up your blue and your black. Not going to go in the first one, we're going to go in the second one because it's a decrease. And the next row, as you can see, it's not starting where we have been. So it's not going to start from here, it's a decrease, but it's 1 in. So to get to the correct position, I'm going to bead down this black bead, down the blue bead just below it, and then I'm going to bead back up the one next to it, the yellow bead, and then back up the black bead. And instead of my starting position now being from this one, my starting position is from the one in, which means I can carry on as normal. So I pick up my 2 yellow beads. I don't go into the first one, go into the second one, away from my string, and secure them. Finish this row off with yellow bead, like so. And the last little line is 2 black beads. Again, because it's a decrease, we don't go into the first one, go into the second one. Secure that. And there you go. There is your little bee pal. So all you want to do now is thread in all your ends so they're secure. And the reason why I went up and then went back down is so that this now is very secure. This is not going to just pull out. Okay, so I'm just gonna thread through all my beads and weave in them ends. And I always like to thread quite a few and then come out one that is an edge one that has nothing next to it. So if I thread up a little bit more, I don't like them to come out. I'm going to thread up and then I'm just going to thread down. Oh. So I'm coming out of the end one. And I'm just gonna snip that there. And then I'm going to now thread the tail that we have been working with. And weave that in. I'm going to try and thread it on camera, but who knows. There you go. So I'm just going to thread that in. Okay. I mean, normally I might thread it in a little bit more. And just snip it. You can always get that a little bit closer, but the scissors I've got today aren't the sharpest. And then you can just hide that there. Okay, so that's our little bumblebee finished. I'll show you how to put little findings on. So I'm going to use this one as a progress keeper. So I've got my little lever, I think they're called lever back clasps, I believe. And I'm just going to grab a little jump ring. There. If you're going to add these, you're going to need some sort of pliers. So I would just open the jump ring. Thread it all on. Nope. And there is my little marker. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. if you're learning to bead, I'm hoping it was somewhat useful. Feel free to bead this little guy up yourself. If you do bead him up, please give me credit. On Instagram, I'm at beancraftsalot. That's where you can find me. I've got a couple of diagrams on my Instagram page as well that you can have a go at. I don't have many. I do have an Etsy store also, which I'll link below. It's closed at the moment for Christmas break, but if you don't want to have a go at making any of these little guys but fancy buying one, you can find me there. Well, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day. Bye now.